Greetings, YouTube model people. How is it going? All right. Welcome to another episode of Sunday Morning Model Cars and Coffee. The great series hosted by Paul over at Left Coast Model Car Builds. Left Coast Model Car Builds. And again, Paul, thank you for the series. Also, right at the top, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, whether it be father or grandfather. This is your day, so I hope you have a great day with family. And also, maybe even more importantly, have a little time to yourself to enjoy your hobby of scale model building. Hopefully get a little bench time on your Father's Day in between the family visits. So this is episode number 16 for me. We have a few cars left. And what I've been doing is, and I've kind of explained this every episode, is covering models that I never featured on my YouTube channel before. So these are pre-2013 April when I went live on my YouTube channel, builds. Really the early 2000s is what we've been looking at. Anything from the year 2001 through like 2005 is pretty most of these builds. So anyway, let me get a quick sip of my beverage here. Actually, the mug is another one that was a gift, but a special one. This is a U.S. Army mug that my uncle gave me. Actually, this is Fort Jackson, though, down in South Carolina. But my uncle was a U.S. Army and U.S. Air Force veteran, and he also worked in Fort Monmouth as a civilian for many, many years in New Jersey, and retired from Fort Monmouth, and then they moved down to South Carolina, my uncle and my aunt. And my years that my uncle were in the United States Air Force, he was serving in Vietnam. So here's to a belated Happy Flag Day, which was yesterday. Happy Flag Day to everyone here in the United States. And also, as always, thank you to all the veterans for your service. Thank you to all the current active military people all across the country, all across the globe, for everything that you do. So here's to you. Last piece here is I forgot to do something last week. I forgot to show you. If you remember, you go back 2 weeks, my mug was a Warner Brothers mug. And I said I had a t-shirt of one of my favorite characters in a Warner Brothers cast of characters, which is Slowpoke Rodriguez, which is the cousin of Speedy Gonzalez, who's the little mouse who runs around crazy. So here is Slowpoke. There's a t-shirt I have of Slowpoke, the country mouse. I don't remember the title of they called them movies, even though they're cartoons. When he came to visit his cousin Speedy, being a country mouse, he's slow. He has to like to drink, so the episode, a lot of it is Speedy trying to help him stay safe from the cat, Sylvester the cat, because he's a country mouse. He doesn't know any better. He's just too slow. Speedy's a city mouse, so he's crazy and moves fast, right? So he had to keep his cousin safe. So anyway, I never grew up, and I thank God for that. So, let's get on to what we got behind me here. A nice little, cool little build. Okay, so here we are. And thank you for letting me be a little goofy at the front of these videos and talking about anything and everything but model building. But anyway, it's fun to do, but for me anyway. Hope you enjoy it as well. So, that aside, this is an interesting little story. As I said, I first started attending model shows and contests. The first one was IPMS Mosquito Con in Wayne, New Jersey. It was first Saturday in April in 2001. So at most model shows and contests, they have raffles. It's another way for the club to raise money, to kind of keep the lights on, keep the club going. So one of those early 2000 years, it was in 2002 that I actually won the raffle. So what you can do is, in some of the raffles, is you go up to the table, you say, oh, I have a winning ticket. And then they have a spread of items there that you can choose from as your prize. So what I saw was this really cool kit. It's a Tamiya. It's a Ford Sierra Texaco sponsored race car. So I said, I'm taking that. I said, Tamiya makes great kits. I'm taking it. So just as I picked it up off the table and they said, congratulations, I said, no, thank you for running the raffle and running a great show. I looked at the guy and I said, and you know what? And I remember this very vividly, holding up the box to him and saying, you know what? Next year, I'm going to bring this completed model to the contest, to the show. He goes, oh, that's cool. He goes, that would be great. I said, okay, great. Done deal. And that's what I did. So when I came back to that same show, IPMS Mosquito Con in 2003, because I won the raffle in 2002, that's what I did. I brought the model, built, and put it on the tables. Now, it has its issues because, again, in those early 2000s, I was developing my skills. So the decal work here is pretty rough. And you know what? To be honest with you, I don't know if it's changed, but maybe it has. I never found Tamiya decals the best and of the best, to tell you the truth. I love Tamiya. I stand by them 110%, especially their kits, but even their other products are just amazing quality and work very well. But I always thought their decals were a little bit, not the best. One part I remember being very proud of when I built this was the way the taillights came out with the clear red and the clear orange. That's the Tamiya paint. It's not a Sharpie marker. On the bottom here, I picked out a couple of details, nothing too crazy, but you can see under there some of the wheel detail behind there is red. So I started to, at this point, a couple of years into after going to shows, started picking out more details and painting them. You really can't see the interior, unfortunately, but there's two-tone there, and I got highlighted things, different colors, and, we got this little touch of red there. So again, I started getting a little more brave, a little more confident in doing more. So yeah, so that's basically it, folks. Again, fun little kit. Obviously a curbside, and really most of it's decals. Maybe not a bad one to try, but obviously, decals can be a bit of a challenge to beginners to this hobby. So, maybe not the best, I guess, but construction-wise, it certainly is. So maybe someone can actually build it as a road car instead of a race car, and just leave all the decals off, kind of thing. That'd be a recommendation I would make for that. So that's all, folks. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you later. All right, cheers.